YouTube, we are doing a ban list prediction as the World Championship qualifier has just concluded. We know that a big possible ban list is happening, as we also know upon the horizon that a bunch of new top tier decks are coming. If we go on to Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta, we could see that Malice and Ryzil. Oh, what about this? Well, it's like Ryzil, Mitsurugi. It's pretty much Ryzil. And this is even after they have been hit by a ban list. We want to use that knowledge as we're trying to predict what could actually get hit by the ban list.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
If we check out the tier list on Master Duel Meta, we could see what the heck is going on here. You have Snake Eye Fiendsmith, Branded, and Fiendsmith Control. Do I think anything from Branded will get hit by the ban list? No, I don't. People say like, oh, Sanctifier, I got locked by it this day. No, it's not. That's not going to get banned. Nothing's going to get banned. It's not going to go back to limited to 1. They're not going to hit Aluber. None of this is going to get hit. If you just want to invest in the deck and invest your time in getting good with the deck, then you should just straight up do it, because this deck is not going to get touched over the next year. I'm going to put my bet on it right now, untouched. What will get touched? If I look at Snake Eye Fiendsmith, I think that within the realm of possibility of cards that could get hit, that would be something like the Moon of the Closed Heaven, or possibly, you may be thinking this is crazy, Doom Dragon, but more so probably Zombie Vampire. And also Moon, Apollo, Zombie Vampire, and Doom, I think are in the realm of possibility of ever being on a potential ban list. But in terms of an actual prediction, that's where we really have to get into the dirt and talk about what's actually expected to be on the ban list. Now, a card like Diablo Star, I straight up expect, I mean, you can see right here, spoiler, it's limited to 1 in the OCG. That is also a big part on why I expect a card like Diablo Star to get limited. You know, I was talking about earlier with the chat on qualities of what makes a good deck. This is not a complete thing, so I should also add here. Hand trap / turn 0 disruption, I should say. This is very important. / board breaker. It's kind of the same deal here, where the state of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is if your opponent goes undisrupted and you don't have a board breaker or a hand trap, handshake, that's it, you lose. What Diablo Star falls in here is it gives the deck insane consistency, insane hand trap resilience, and it even, to an extent, does have Maxian Fulos resilience, because you could set a Silvera. Not that many people are doing that. It also, it adds to the power ceiling of being able to assist immensely powerful decks. It's almost every single freaking category here that Diablo Star adds to, with this being the main reason why we would want to have it be limited to 1. It's just way too freaking good. It feels horrible to imperm a Snake Eye Ash. They follow up a Diablo Star, and let's say what? You imperm that? Okay, I put them together into a Moon, and now I have full combo still. It's ridiculous. I think that we're gonna put the Diablo to limited to 1 prediction. Why is Zombie Vampire here? Zombie Vampire, I'll be honest with you, did nothing wrong. It's the Millennium Engine. The Millennium Engine is creating boards, breaking boards, and it is protecting boards. If you have a play, it could easily help facilitate a Little Knight and a Photon Lord, and then you make your play. Good luck making your play through that. If you have no play, you could then go into your Zombie Vampire and then possibly go in your play. Now, that could whiff, and it did whiff a few times in a recent tournament. And also, it is 7750 damage on the field, plus push a monster into the back row, and you haven't even committed to a normal summon yet. What's also happening is when your Zombie Vampire whiffs, they're turning it into a Moon of the Closed Heaven. This is ridiculous. This is not okay. All of this together at once. This is immensely prevalent within the World Champ qualifier and top tier players and top tier decks. And what I think is also crazy in terms of cards that we want to discuss is the fact that Wave King Caesar can't stop Millennium at all. Millennium special summons 3 times against a card that negates special summons, and it just gets pushed into the back row before even being able to activate anything. That just does not seem right. Lurie and Moon, I don't see Lurie as being a problem. I think Moon is the problem, but the real problem is, can I honestly predict Moon to get banned? Doom makes Zombie Vampire broken. Doom also helps break fields, but I think just the fact that Doom is too new, That alone is a reason why I don't think it will get hit. It's about 4 months new, as I see here, the Master Duel release. That's the reason why. Now, I do talk about reducing collateral damage when banning cards. Before fully committing to putting Zombie Vampire on the ban, how about we take a gander at who's using Zombie Vampire? Who's gonna get hurt here? Because if it's only players playing Millennium, then screw them, right? You get Zombie Vampire banned, not a problem. So who is actually... Greasy Taco, I'm so sorry that your card's gonna get banned. Well, it's Horus also facilitating it. I would say you can help me with this. Are there non-Horus, non-Millennium that are using Zombie Vampire that will cry when it gets banned? Because if you're using Horus or Millennium, then too bad. And if you could just see here, Horus, Millennium, 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 Horus, Millennium, it's gonna be a shocker. People are gonna be like, what? No way, no one saw this coming. I saw it coming, I saw it coming. It's the same thing. No one saw this coming when I did. I said Celestial would get banned. All the intellectuals after it got banned were like, oh yes, of course this got banned. This is why it got banned. No one was surprised. You were all surprised, no one saw it. I did, I predicted this. It is in history, written down. Go back on any banlist predictions. This was on my prediction, and I'm gonna do it again. Zombie Vampire on my prediction. It's gonna get banned, hopefully. Konami, don't make me look bad, please. So far, we have Diablo Star to 1 and Zombie Vampire to ban. And it's taken a bullet for Doomed. Do I think Doom should be here instead? Yes, but it's just not gonna happen on my prediction. It's not balanced advice, it's a prediction. And it's not what I want, it's what's going to happen. Moon is copium. Doom is copium. You're coping. You're freaking coping. Stop coping. These are the cope tier. Are these copes? No, no one's coping about these getting hit. You are straight coping with these cards getting hit. It's not gonna happen. I don't think so. You know, they're making too much money with Fiendsmith. Beyond Snake Eye Fiendsmith, I think we now move on from Snake Eye Fiendsmith to look at another deck. So let's go back on over to the tier list. Let's click on Fiendsmith Control. Fiendsmith Control, how could we hit this deck? Well, if Moon is copium, then how do we even hit this? I think this is one of those decks that, because it's not very high on the power ceiling, it's hand trap resilient, it's max C resilience, it has a low power ceiling, it has very good consistency, great recursion, lots of hand traps, turn 0 disruption, but because the power ceiling is not there, I think that Fiendsmith Control is simply taking advantage of a meta that just does not have Malice or Ryzil. Once Malice or Ryzil come out, I think Fiendsmith Control will just naturally fall. This is not a brand new invention of Master Duel. No one just came up with this out of nowhere. It has a history in the TCG and OCG. On Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta, if you look up Fiendsmith or Primite, that's essentially what Fiendsmith Control is, but we conjoined it into one on Master Duel. Overall, nothing's gonna happen to this. You know, part of the copium tier, Moon is there, as it's not gonna get hit. Crystron, are we even coping? I think someone said they could hit Dragster. I don't know if they were joking. There's no way, mate. Are you crazy? Well, I already said Zombie Vampire would be possibly hit. That's on my predictions. That would be a hit for Crystron already. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. There's nothing else hittable here. Don't hit them. Blue Eyes, they're already overhit. What the heck? They're gonna fall off naturally when Ryzil and Malice come out. There's nothing hittable. I don't see the hit. This deck doesn't even play Apollo. That wouldn't even affect them if Apollo were to get hit. We should be going back to discuss Apollo though. I should just bring up Apollo right now. Is Apollo being prevalently even used and summoned as much right now? People are summoning Caesar or Desiree over Apollo. They're not summoning Apollo as much. Apollo's being used and abused mostly by Snake Eye Fiendsmith. And if Diablo Star gets hit and they also hit the Millennium Engine, do they need Apollo hit on top of it? I don't think that's the case, but you know who needs Apollo hit? I would say that is Malice. Someone may be thinking, what? I don't know about Apollo and Malice. That's because it's banned in the TCG. The thing about Apollo is it usually requires a concession, a trade-off, where if I summon Apollo, that means I'm not summoning a Caesar. If I summon Apollo, it probably means I may not be summoning a Desiree also, even though, you know, Snake Eye Fiendsmith is crazy broken and they're still summoning both of it. The problem with Malice is they're not really trading off. What's really broken about the Apollo in this deck is the Link 3s all trigger when banished. You are already naturally turning a Link 3 into just getting it off the field to banish it, and why not just do that with Apollo? There's no trade-off. You're not trading a bigger or better monster. That's right, I'm saying Apollo should be banned for just a 2 negate, because a +2 negate with no trade-off, no downside, that is essentially what the deck has in the OCG from what I've been playing and playing against on OCG simulators. It is way too freaking good. I would say Apollo predicts Malice coming out if it's on the ban list, but then people have said, Decade, you said Beatrice would predict that Fiendsmith came out, and then they waited for Fiendsmith to come out, then to ban Beatrice afterward. Okay, Konami likes money, I'm sorry. Money over balance, maybe that would also be the case with Malice then. Because they did pull that maneuver, I don't know if I could predict Apollo being on the ban list. Apollo is banned because of Malice before its release or after the release of Malice for that reason. Would Shifter be a good pre-ban to just ban this card? I will put Shifter on the list. Are you ready? Ready for Shifter? It's gonna make people happy, right? Shifter, Copium, boom, coped. You're coping, it's not gonna get banned. Sorry. I think for balancing the game better, that would be great. Yeah, ban the Shifter in a good balanced game, which we're not playing, by the way. Yu-Gi-Oh's balanced through being unbalanced. What else do we have here? We have Memento. I think at the moment, Memento is just a slightly worse version of Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Snake Eye Fiendsmith has the room without going heavily over 40 cards to more so play Duel and Lockbird to help facilitate the tier of giving us Maxi and Full Loss resilience. I think Snake Eye Fiendsmith better fits also the Fiendsmith engine and the Millennium engine while also having Duel and Lockbird to fit Fiendsmith, Droll, and all that, and enough non-engine in your Memento deck. Your Memento size is going to get quite large. You're really not going to have as much room as Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Your consistency a little bit is going to be dropping in some areas. It is a very good deck. It's top tier. I agree that it's tier 2, just not tier 1 with Snake Eye Fiendsmith. That does not mean I don't think something's going to get banned here. I actually think something could get banned, but it's probably too early. And what the heck is that? Well, that is going to be the Smasher. Paradise freaking Smasher. If you're unfamiliar with this card, if you ever get 3 level 5s on the field, which Memento can do, you then activate this effect with the chat calculated this. I trust the chat with math. It's a 93% chance that your opponent cannot activate monster effects nor declare an attack until the end of their next turn. This is commonly being summoned in the OCG. This would very simply just get it out of the way before it becomes an issue later, as some people are still summoning it right now and it's not a happy experience. It's making people upset. I'm just gonna create another tier. Future hits, Apollo, right? Apollo's a future hit, Paradise is a future hit. I don't even think that Moon is a future hit. I don't think Doom Dragon's a future hit, even though it should. It's just a feeling. You just gotta trust my feeling, my gut. I've been pretty good on predictions. I feel like this whole tier is straight up copium forever, but these are future hits. After looking at Memento, we then now drop to tier 3. Sprite, I think, is possibly just visiting tier 3 momentarily. It's really not having good prevalence, and it's not bringing back up into discussion Elf being potentially banned. I don't think so. It's not happening. People aren't really thinking about Elf. White Forest has a future. Now, can they preemptively hit something for the future of White Forest? I don't think they will. We could see on Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta here, tier list OCG. Where is White Forest at? It's over here. It's not super top tier. In the OCG, Diablo Star's already, I mean, it is limited one to be fair. How about TCG? How recently did the cards come out? They are already pretty much playing Diablo Star at 1 anyway. This would just be in line with the Diablo Star getting hit for Snake Eye Fiendsmith, and it really wouldn't be that big of a deal. I should more so look at a recent deck. Here's like a 300-player regional. He's playing one Diablo Star just to double check to see some top-end deck list just using one Diablo Star. I think nothing's going to get here. Everything's going to be fine. It's just going to move on and be fine. Why do I have Melissa Ryzil on the ban list predictions? Right away, the ban list itself will not announce Ryzil or Melissa, but with the announcement of Melissa Ryzil coming out, they will let you know right then and there that a card is being limited to one or semi-limited. It's what happened to Engraver, right? Engraver got semi-limited on release. This is not a crazy thing, but I do want to group up the new pack announcement with essentially a ban list predictions for whenever one of these would to ever come out, to just to make this video a little bit more spicy. I think the EXT Ryzil is super broken. It's a board breaker plus consistency. It can negate any card in the field without committing to a normal summon, search your deck for another card that's special summoned, and you super pop off from there. And then Dormouse is just a very powerful normal summon that just starts the full freaking wombo combo from there. This card maybe just getting semi-limited. Again, I'm not telling Konami what to do. I'm predicting that I think both of these cards would get hit on the release of Melissa and Ryzil. Now, we have added legit predictions for Unlimited. I legit think that the furniture cards could become unlimited. It's actually an unprecedented hit. These were never hit in the TCG and OCG from my memory. It's just one of the few cards that are unlimited in the physical card game, but only in Master Duel are actually hit. You may be thinking, what the heck? I lost to a Labyrinth player the other day. You lost to a Labyrinth player probably not playing these. They were probably just playing Floodgates and the simultaneous equation to banish your field. In fact, this will further encourage Labyrinth players to stray away from the more toxic way. Every furniture card you add to your deck is one less Floodgate that's possibly in the deck. I think the Purely card, this is at 3 in OCG. That's a big reason why I think it could potentially come back. It's limited to 1 in Master Duel, so I do think that it could be semi-limited. I would actually put it up there instead of being actually unlimited. We have the Copium tier from Twitch chat. Coping on totally awesome. This is not going to exist alongside Sprite Elf. It's not a hard once per turn negate. So you negate, goes to the grave, reborn it back, negate again. And then you have the Sprite Cross, which could summon it a third freaking time to negate a third time. Not that you're summoning a third time. Terraforming this, it's not just effectively another copy of a field spell. It is searchable with Thrust now. Thrust, grab a normal spell, you can now search a field spell. I just do not see this coming back. I actually think it's a pretty good idea that they get to balance the field spells at the restriction that they believe it should be at without also having to factor in terraforming. If your favorite field spell is limited to 1, it's not that we should bring back terraforming, it's that your field spell should no longer be limited to 1. Runic Fountain, Cope, as long as Floodgates exist, this has to stay at 1. They literally have to just ban all the Floodgates for this to come back. Chandra, the field spell's limited to 1, the Kaiman is limited to 1. Chandra, semi-limited. If anything were to ever get off of being restricted, I could see this being one of the first Tenpai cards to come off the ban list or at least become semi-limited before unlimited, but it's still Cope. It's Cope. We're in the Cope tier. Maiden and Sage literally just got hit. Super Cope. There's no way they're going to back-to-back hit and then unhit. You're coping, but maybe it's a future unhit. And then we have Merly. Well, Decayed, Sprite. Sprites and Branded. I want you to think about these two decks. Why are we thinking about these two decks that are not related to Tearlament or in a way related? You don't have to like this answer, it's just a reality. Branded received a bunch of unhits because it's the free player campaign, you get the deck for free. Well, then it got unhit even more because of the alt arts. So what's going on with Sprite? There's a Sprite tryout deck thing that's coming to Master Duel. It's in the physical card game. That's why Sprite got unhit. Is anything happening with Tearlament in the physical card game? Any promotions? Nothing. If I were Konami, I would in person maybe tell you, like, yeah, okay, I agree. We could unban Merly, but we want it to be a more momentous event. We want it to be in line with some sort of a promotion for Tearlament maybe. Is maybe where they're gonna have this in their back pocket and then be ready to whip it out. And you may be thinking, oh, what the heck? It's not banned in the other games. Kit Kalos is banned in TCG and OCG. You don't want to trade with what they have instead. We could just be happy that we have Kit Kalos for now. I'm a fan of tier limit. I think it was one of the best metas. I love the deck a lot. I just don't see Murley. And then future hits, I think we already talked about this. This is being used in Memento. This is going to already floodgating a little bit right now. It's going to floodgate more in the future. Talked about how in Malice, the Apollo USA is not even a trade-off. It's just summoned along the way within your combo. And it's just like, really? What the heck? How's that fair? Most other decks, besides Snake Eye Fiendsmith, that is also a problem where this card is problematic in Snake Eye Fiendsmith and in Malice. Copium. Shifter is not going to get banned before the release of Malice. Lury's never going to get banned. A new alt art's even coming out for this. Not that that's a main reason why I think it's not going to get banned, but it does in a way show that Konami likes or intended for Lury to just be unofficially a part of Fiendsmith. Moon, it's just, I think in the future, the Fiendsmith cards will just get hit over this. I think Moon is potentially here to stay. I know there's a lot of replacements for Moon. If you want to rank 4Cs, rank 3Xcs, Ryzil could make the Exiton Knight instead, and that could be a great benefit. And then you have Malice that doesn't even really use Fiendsmith. Hitting this would, in a way, be a boost for a deck that's going to be super top tier. You, right now, are sick of Moon, but once Ryzil, or maybe I should say Malice, because Ryzil also using Fiendsmith, when Malice comes out, you're going to get sick of Malice, and you're going to be happy that you have Fiendsmith to help compete with Malice. You got to think from that mindset. Zombie Vampire's getting banned because of Doom, because of Millennium. Millennium and Doom are getting this banned, and that's my prediction for why I think it is getting banned. The Millennium cards are way too good right now, and, you know, who knows what else we're going to be putting it in future decks. I think Diablo Star getting hit is in line with already what has been hit in the OCG, and Snake Eye Fiendsmith, even if you maybe have not been seeing it as much, probably just because people are tired of playing such a really good freaking deck, it's still a really good freaking deck. This is going to get limited to 1. I think so that now would be the time for that. And I think as on hit from limited to 1 to 2, I think this could be there. It's a small little prediction here. And then whether they announce Ryzil or Malice for whenever they choose to release one of these deck types, that I think similarly to Fenrir was semi-limited on release, Engraver semi-limited on release. Up next, EXT Ryzil and the Dormouse. This is already limited to 1 in OCG and limited to 1 in OCG. I'm not even predicting to be limited to 1 on release. And there you go. That is my ban list prediction. If you agree or disagree, or if you think I forgot something, let me know in the comments. Let's go.